Welcome, beloved sangha, to our weekly or alternate weekly Dharma talk with our Venerable Khenpo Tenzin. We will begin our Dharma talk this morning with opening, or this afternoon with opening prayers on page 4 and 5 of our Yellow Garchin Institute prayer book. Until awakening, I take refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By the merit of generosity and other good deeds, may I attain Buddhahood for the benefit of all beings. Until awakening, I take refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By the merit of generosity and other good deeds, may I attain Buddhahood for the benefit of all beings. Until awakening, I take refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By the merit of generosity and other good deeds, may I attain Buddhahood for the benefit of all beings. May all mother sentient beings, limitless as space, have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they not be separated from the happiness that is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion. May all mother sentient beings, limitless as space, have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they not be separated from the happiness that is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion. May all mother sentient beings, limitless as space, have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they not be separated from the happiness that is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion.
Good afternoon, dear Dharma brothers and sisters. Today, I bring our topic, which is knowing how to properly practice the Dharma is more important than what we practice. The reason to discuss on there is we all love to practice Dharma practice, and we all have same wish to achieve Buddhahood. I think this wish is very suitable because we had Buddha nature, and we have a Buddha nature, and then only our responsibility is practice and then blossom them. It will not naturally blossom. Buddha nature is not naturally blossom. For instance, if Buddha nature is a flower, then this flower need water, dirt, and warm like a sunlight, and lots of things need to grow that flower. Similarly, our Buddha nature, to blossom our Buddha nature, we need many causes and conditions. We already accumulated wonderful merit. That's why if we practice now, then we are ready. We are already ready to practice, because right now we are not a cow, not cow life of a cow, horse, and some kind of animal's life. If right now we are cow and some sheep or something, then it's still we need some more cause and conditions for practicing dharma, to practice dharma. Because first we have to we need spiritual wisdom to understand dharma. And then also, if we have some questions, then we have to know the language. So cows and sheep, they have their own language, but they don't have dharma language. Sorry, I'm not discriminate between the animals and human, but it depends with the merit. So we are in previous life we took we we were how to say, the our life was being cows and sheep and horse, of course, but then we reduce those some uh, negative karmas, and then we accumulate a lot of merit. So that's where right now we have this precious human life. So we have a precious human life, then we have a golden opportunity to practice dharma. So, but then we, especially our Buddhist, we practice a lot. Actually, practice a lot, and also we diligently practice. That is really gorgeous and wonderful. That we need. But sometimes we have to think of a result. So many, especially recently, many sangha who practiced, who has been practiced dharma 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, and then they gave up dharma. Or if they don't give up dharma, and then they slowly reduce their practice. I noticed like that. Some, not in majority, in minority. Someone is really wonderful practitioners before, but then slowly they reduce their dharma practice. And then, yeah, of course, we don't want to criticize them. This is not object of criticism. This is an object of compassion and object of bodhicitta. But only we project compassion and bodhicitta, it only that way has wonderful benefit, but still we have to think, in the future. Still many sangha will possible they will reduce their practice, and it's well possible they stop to practice dharma, give up dharma. So actually, whether they become Buddhist or not, this is their freedom. So for myself, for example, I don't want to say you should become Buddhist, you should practice dharma. That actually that is not my internally view. So, but whoever practice dharma, I deeply rejoice that, and I really have very strong confidence. They sooner or later they will become Buddha or Bodhisattva. In this world, 7 billion of people, maybe more than something, what I heard is 7 billion of people, 7 billion people. So among them, only one person become Bodhisattva. Then this person is like the sun in the sky. Right now we see some Bodhisattvas, how much they benefit. Wherever they are, they make wonderful benefit, right? You know, each and every people can arise compassion, bodhicitta, because of these Bodhisattvas activities, including food and clothes, many ways. If people get sick, pray and some blessing, give empowerment, and lots of give instructions. So how much benefit if Dharma is exist, Dharma practitioners will exist in this world? It has a really such a wonderful benefit. So for that reason, if practitioners continuously progress their practice and continuously they practice Dharma, I think this is very important. The reason is they reduce their practice and they give up Buddhism sometimes. This reason is, I think, when they practice, they don't practice properly. This is almost human nature. They suddenly expect some result and do very diligently some for few months or something, and then they have not particularly experience or something like they did not see some result, and then they thought maybe Dharma doesn't benefit. So it's in majority practitioners don't have like that problems, but in minority have that problems. But whether they have this problem or not, for example, how long we studied Dharma, still we are going to practice Dharma properly. That is very important. So the we have to then how to properly practice is we have to understand how to practice. After we understand how to practice, for example, only meditate for only 1 hour, it has a great result, really. Result is really amazing. The result, if we have the result, we don't want to fly in the sky suddenly, and we don't want to show some superpower. Whether if we have that power, if this is not the right time to show up, then we don't want to show these powers. If we have some kind of superpower or some miracles and power for miracles or something, we don't want to show it suddenly. If this time is coming, for example, this morning His Eminence Ngachien Rinpoche mentioned about Nagarjuna's knowledge. He studied non-Buddhist knowledge. He did not use that. He did not show it in publicly anytime. But then it was ready to show it. Then he showed it. He showed to his knowledge showed to the Ayadeva, right? Similarly, so the sometimes we have a kind of wonderful result. We achieved wonderful powers during our practice, but we don't want to show it immediately. But if we don't, If we don't have suddenly some benefit, actually uh, if you practice Dharma, there's a wonderful result. But then we cannot appear this result suddenly sometimes. This is sometimes related over thick ignorance. Our Buddha nature is like the sun, and then the our obscurations, like a defilement, emotions, and the the uh, the afflictive emotions are like a thick clouds. So they covered the sunlight. Similarly, the result cannot appear because of this or thick ignorance and so on. But the uh, we there are many kind of practices. Uh, we have many routines. We have many types of meditation, and we have many ways of teachings, many ways of retreat. So all of these practices are Dharma practice. They are no different. Then the knowing how to uh, properly practice the Dharma means actually they all include three activities: listening Dharma that we are doing, and reflecting on Dharma that we are doing, and meditating on Dharma that we are doing. And then what is the properly practice is when we listen Dharma, we have to know how to listen, right? When we listen, reflecting Dharma, we have to know how to reflect. And when we meditate, we have to know how to meditate. If you meditate knowingly through your understand how to meditate, and then you meditate through this way, your 1 month meditation, and if you just meditate for many years, there are different results. The result is we don't want to say the result is depending in our mind how much benefit it. During our meditation, there are different obstacles, different thoughts. It's continuously arise in our mind. Then how to transform into the wisdom, how to transform into the realization of non-duality, power of bodhicitta. So these are we have to know. So then we begin from the so listening Dharma. When we listen Dharma, only listen Dharma, it has a wonderful merit. This merit is uh, inconceivable, because this is the power of Dharma. So only listening Dharma has a wonderful merit. But then we need benefit from this listening the Dharma, right? What is the benefit? Benefit is we have to change our life of mind. We don't want to change the life of a body. We are going to change the life of mind. Changing life of mind means we have to change way of thinking. If before we are very strong, sensitive person, or we are very much selfish person, people, then through listening the Dharma, first we have to understand that egoistic mind always lead selfish activities. Bodhicitta lead the mankindness, sweet heart, and always can think others. So we have to know this between these faults and this qualities of bodhicitta and faults of egoistic mind. But then we know, okay, what is the egoistic mind? Or often our guru taught us, we know that, and we know bodhicitta because our guru often taught us. Then what we have to understand beside of them is how to improve bodhicitta. And when some obstacles arise, what is called is conflict of bodhicitta or opposite of bodhicitta arise, at that time how to reduce that, or how to progress bodhicitta, and opposite of bodhicitta, how to reduce, how to use the antidote of the selfish activities. Or if we knowing that, and then when we meditate, for example, for 1 hour, and then we keeps like a seven uh, uh, seven postures of meditation, and we close eyes, and then we meditate on single pointed delay or something in the mind. Whenever these thoughts, negative thoughts arise, and we can use immediately the antidote of them when it is ready to use, and we can conquer, or we can conquer these negative thoughts immediately. If we for example, when we meditate, our mind is agitated, our mind is completely agitated. But if we use method, the antidote of dullness, then it cannot purify the agitation. In the for example, in grossly method is when we meditate, if we have a very strong agitation, at that time we have to close the windows and doors and wear thick clothes and remain very peacefully, and we have to focus some kind of very kind of dark or blue colors, more focus on there, something like that. But if we use at that time, still we open the windows and doors, and we focus more object of lightly, colorful things, and then it leads our agitation. Our agitation grow. It cannot reduce our agitation. Same like dullness. When we are meditating, then our mind is completely dissolve in the dullness. At that time, we have to focus more kind of a light color, or we uh, focus on the some kind of the mantra of like a white om or white ah or something like that. But if still we focus, there's some very blue dark things, and we wear very thick clothes and eat heavy food, and then they lead our agitation more and more. And then what happened is, then we are upset, then we are tired. Oh, I cannot meditate. How much I try to do, it's or exactly the opposite things arise. So result is completely how to say opposite. So it cannot do that. This is human nature. Then we will reduce our enthusiasm. Enthusiasm. If we have no enthusiasm to practice, then it's very difficult to achieve our goal. And also during the listening the Dharma, for example, we listen Dharma for 1 hour, for example. Among them, if you know how to listen, you should pick up very important one. Actually, in this, if teaching for 1 hour, for example, there are lots of important things, because everything's for practicing Dharma. But this is important, this is not important. We cannot say, but we can prefer important thing individually. So, for example, we listen Dharma for 1 hour. At that time, we cannot keep each and every word in our mind, because of our the thought of forget. We have that habit, so we forget. We cannot keep each and every vocabularies in the mind, and also we cannot keep every uh, sentences in our mind. So then you should listen for 1 hour, for example. Then you pick up one of them. Oh, this is really benefit for me if I utilize this to for way of my Dharma practice. If you pick up one, it is really uh, uh, it has great benefit for your practice. So then this part is become instruction. Instruction means if you use that the way of your practice, it can progress your realizations. It can remove your obstacles of practice. So that means the instruction, right? So uh, that's why we have to mm, uh, we have to know how to listen the Dharma, and then we uh, reflecting. Reflecting is also same like when we listen the Dharma, we cannot observe each and every teachings. For example, gurus gave us teaching for 1 or 2 hours, maybe 2.5 hours. If we examine each and every teachings, it's very difficult. But for instance, Guru tells us you should practice bodhicitta. It is very important. Guru explains something on there, and then yourself, how it is benefiting to me. During the I am upside, how it makes benefit. Uh, and when I am angry, at that time how it will help me. When I am try to help others, how bodhicitta help me and others. When I meditate on the higher level, for example, Mahamudra and Dzogwa Chimbo, at that time, bodhicitta, how this bodhicitta benefit for me. So we reflect on there, and then we noticed, we will notice how it is important. Oh, when I start to teach, at that time definitely I should arise bodhicitta, because only through this way it can benefit to listeners or disciples. And then we have kind of this confidence, we found the confidence at that time. If we found this confidence, and someone said you don't want to generate bodhicitta during your teaching, if someone said, but our mind cannot accept this, because you found the confidence, the benefit of bodhicitta. Otherwise always says bodhicitta, bodhicitta, and then it become just like a just we heard that, and then it's very difficult to arise the feeling in deeply. If we will not arise deeply this deep realization or deep feeling, and then this bodhicitta has no that much power really. No that much power means it cannot benefit for others. So when we reflect, we don't want to usually reflect has a different way of thinking, how to debate, how to give answer, something like, always think like that. This is also not that much benefit really. Always we focus on how to debate or something like that. This is not great. It has no great benefit. Of course, it has no great benefit for others and also oneself. So until now, we are practicing Dharma. Of course, you all know much better than me. But right now, I just share my opinion through way of the Dharma teaching. So what I think is really we have to skillfully reflect when we uh, uh, practicing Dharma, especially during the reflecting on Dharma. And then same like a meditation, we all meditate. So during the meditation, there has rules and the regulations. We should follow that. Why these masters, these Mahasiddhis and Lord Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, they made rules and the regulations for Dharma practice. They don't try to make a special system. They made rules and regulations for the sake of their disciples, for the sake of mother sentient beings, because they follow through this way, and they made rules and regulations themselves, or they follow their gurus and their the Buddhas or Bodhisattvas. They already made some rules and regulations. They follow this way, and then these practitioners who come through this way, then they found the wonderful benefit. So the meditation, for instance, uh, the uh, the in the sutara way there is shamatha and meditation on shamatha and meditation on vipassana. In the vajrayana vehicle there is a generation stage and completion stage. So we have to go through these rules and the regulations. And then if we meditate for 1 hour, at least for 1 hour, your mind is completely dissolved in this meditation. It will possible afternoon after your meditation, your anger will arise, or your attachment will arise. It was possible just right before your meditation you have some different obstacles, but during the meditation you completely sink in the meditation. It is not easy to sink or dissolve your mind into the meditation. This is not easy because our thoughts is a very naughtyable. It's very much how to say very uh, naughty boy. Sorry, what is called? Uh, Mischievous. Thank you. Mischievous, right? So they are always arise to bother us, bother, right? So they always do it. So if we know how to meditate, knowingly we meditate, and any kind of thoughts arise, they are good conditions, really. Maybe you have this kind of experience when we meditate tranquilly, peacefully, and different thoughts arise, and then we use some antidote, and these thoughts dissolve. At that time, it's so happy and enjoy really. Then extra thoughts let arise if they're coming someday. You know, if we know that. If we don't know how to use antidote, thoughts arise, we try to use some other antidote, then our antidote lose, thoughts become, what is a winner, a winner, and then we are start to tired, and then lots of these uncomfortable feelings, uncomfortable situation will arise. That's where during the meditation, in the during the generation stage, how to visualize the idam deities step by step, and then each hour is, if we visualize for 2 hours, still we feel it's really too short. First, we don't have that feeling. First, we meditate 20 minutes and something is very long, because since we start to close eyes, it really time is getting longer. But then if we really know how to visualize a step by step coming, exactly rules and regulations, these rules and regulations are compassionately through spiritual wisdom gave us from compassionate gurus. That's where then we listen that, remember these instructions. If we don't do well, we don't reflect well, but it's ready to remember their instructions, we cannot remember that because we didn't do good reflection on there. So that's where reflection is important, and then during the meditation, same. And then our life is really impermanent, so we cannot grant this morning is okay, afternoon is not sure, during the eating is okay, but after it, what happened, we will not sure. Impermanent, it does not mean always we die, you know. Impermanent means our mind not remain in balance. Suddenly comes up, suddenly goes down. For that reasons, then we using some kind of these instructions, any kind of problems occur in our mind, and then they will immediately disappear. So through that's where there are lots of benefit. And then about sadhana practice, also if we do them properly, this is a really uh, it has some meaning, where they say you should visualize emptiness. You should, where you have to use the mudaras as much as possible. You do. Some of them is not easy, of course, but you pay. You should. We not only say you. Sorry, we should pay attention. Pay attention how to use mudaras, properly. And during the we use the hand, the mudaras and so on. At that time, what we have to think in the mind, we are reciting something, we do something with the hand, and then what we have to think. And then where we have to use a bell, where we use the dramaru, and how to use them properly, including them, we have to, if we knowingly practice. I don't mean uh, 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 the you made mistakes. Actually, the mind is very important, but as much as possible, you let us do properly. Really, this is then this will benefit. If I give you a small example, we use often this instrument, right? If there's some ready to use within these the other symbols, and then during the like exactly time to use them, we use them, and then people listen. It's really very melodious. It will calms down others' mind, or so mind. It's a help to lead their offering activities, you know, and they rejoice. It will lead. They rejoice, and then it benefit a lot because it offering to the Buddha's ears, right? Bodhisattva's ears, Yadam deity's ears. That's where they will rejoice. That means that they lead, they rejoice, and so on. But if we use these are mistakenly or some how to say improperly, and then it become part of a noisy, really. So there are lots of ways, you know. Uh, uh, that is example, and including we play drums. They have also some rules and regulations. Don't do too much. Almost is make break. No, then it's uncomfortable, right? But then the very too soft is also then cannot follow. So everything has rules and regulations. So that way, if there is rules and regulations, we have to know them. After we know, I don't mean I know everything, but I hope we all know, we all understand. And after we understand, then we do it properly, then it has a lot of benefit. We don't want to think only the in in front of us some sanghas, you know. There are many indivisible lives. They expect our what to say, the benefit which we there comes. For example, not only this instrument and so on, the Dharma teaching really. Actually, it seems I say by myself. Yeah, of course, when we teach Dharma, we don't want to think only people who are in front of the eyes. Really, there are lots of invisible lives, lots of, because they it is like that. If some hungry ghosts, they are extremely thirsty, right? Thirsty, and then they see some like a water from far away, which we can see like that. It's a very sunny day, and somewhere like a some looks like a rain, and also in the highway there's some we drove from far away. Looks on the road has a lots of water or something. Did you mirage? Yes, and then they followed there. They followed there. They thought that is water. Similarly, when someone gives teaching, many invisible beings, they thought they get some benefit. They come to listen, and they come to listen if we not teach compassionately, we do not teach through bodhicitta of mind, they cannot get benefit really. Our human beings get some benefit because we already have a great merit. This is not only power of the teachers. This is a power of listeners, disciples. They already have merit. They accumulated wonderful merit. That's where they listen the Dharma, and then they pick up wonderful instructions from there. And these single instruction, right? Instructions can change their life. As Milarepa said, instruction dissolve in my mind is like a soul to dissolve into the ocean. That means then his mind is completely combined into the instruction. So, but many these invisible lives, they don't have this power because of less merit. That's why during the teaching has a very big responsibility. We have to teach exactly what Buddha said, because Buddha has omniscience. Buddha, he completely accomplished. And then gurus, what guru says, we have to, when we listen and when we repeat, then guru what said exactly. For example, when sometimes I quote right, quote His Eminence Garchi Rinpoche's teaching, I have to say exactly what his meaning or what he said. If I go different ways, this is not okay, you know. So that's why any time when we practice Dharma, then we have to know that. Then often I don't know, you have that feeling. We often heard we have to learn, we have to understand the Dharma, we have to understand. But it does not mean you should go to the like some philosophy centers. I don't mean you should learn the philosophy, all of these subjects. But whether we are retreaters or we are these yogis, or we are kind of these any kind of Dharma practitioners, we have to listen, right? We have to listen Dharma. And after we have to reflect on that. After we have to meditate. If we don't do these three things, then how we can receive benefit? So, but if we learn Dharma, this is sometimes we think, oh, learning Dharma is not important. Learning Dharma is important or not. Actually, this is dependent on our selves. But learning Dharma is for what? For benefit others, right? We are going to learn Dharma for the sake of others. If our own selves meditate, rest in the Mahamudra, that is okay. But Buddha, Shakyamuni Buddha, they achieve Dharmakaya. But still they radiate Sambhogakaya and Nirmanakayas. For what? For benefit mother sentient beings. Nirmanakaya and Sambhogakaya, they radiate from Dharmakaya. Buddha, Shakyamuni Buddha, he attained the Dharmakaya. Then he did not say, "Oh, I'm attained Dharmakaya, so no, I have no responsibility." But he has more responsibilities because he has to radiate countless Sambhogakaya and Nirmanakayas. And then, for example, Nirmanakayas, then how to benefit mother sentient beings? If you are a doctor, you have to know names of medicines and which medicine is for fever, which medicine is for the headache, and then which medicine is for morning, which medicine is for evening, which medicine is with hot water, which medicine is with cold water. If we knowing them, then that medicine, if we are a doctor, if we know that, and then that medicine benefit these patients. Similarly, when we have to our Dharma practice is not only for the sake of ourselves. Our Dharma practice is for the sake of mother sentient beings. For until this samsara became empty, we have a responsibility. That is for others. So that's where Bodhisattvas, they took life. Sorry, this is my mistake. Not took life. This is they take rebirth. They take rebirth like cows and deer and bird and dog, cat. So the reason is it says skillful their deep compassion and then skillful actions. Hopefully you understand. In Tibetan says Tamke la Tuji Chimpo. Tamke means skillful, Tuji Chimpo means compassion. So they already have great compassion, and then from there they start to utilize their start to benefit for others, and then they need skills. Bodhisattvas, there in the one sutara, the Bodhisattvas have to learn particularly subject. Maybe you heard that before, so I will not say. So to learn is important or not is depending how much you are going to help others. And then practice oneself. If ourselves do not practice, then only talk cannot benefit. It will benefit something, but not great benefit, really. So Dharma practice has two. Looking two direction. Looking towards yourself. Whenever kind of some like a malicious thought, covetousness, kind of these negative emotions arise, make clean, purify. That means looking yourself and promote your meditate. Meditation, it does not mean you always stay alone. Wherever you sit, you be mindful, really be mindful. And then first it's little hard, but then slowly you will become familiar. So one responsibility or one way of looking is on yourself and look at your mind. Look at your mind, and then you will notice any kind of thoughts arise, how much uncomfortable, how much difficult, how much suffering, you can experience through this way. And then you start to look others. This can start when you start to look others. At that time, it's spontaneously you can look others through your compassion, because you experienced your suffering. Through your suffering you experienced. And then when you look others, what is your main purpose, right? Purpose. Your main purpose is help others. How to help is you should reduce their sufferings, and you should improve their realizations, happiness, joy. So that's why how to reduce the others' sufferings. Then you have to know. Oh, my anger emotion is reduced through this way, right? But you also do this. If I say that the different people has different physical conditions, different condition of channels, different conditions of winds. So sometimes it's quite hard. Quite hard. It's like this wire is plugged here, right? If I bring this, it's already have connected electric. So I try to pull in my phone, it cannot go inside. Same like that. That's where then you learn others' condition. How about that way? And then you do. And then you give instruction. You say you do that and this. It's very really great benefit. So perhaps today's my talking is not popular. Perhaps it is pretty popular, but it is whether popular or not. This is no problem, no matter. But we are Buddhist. We are Buddhist, so we have responsibility. Since we become Buddhist, our responsibility is we try to help others. We try to benefit to others in different ways. Not only way of Dharma teach, sit like here and it gives teaching. Not only through this way. There are many ways to help others. Through your general conversation, you can benefit others. Through general the conversation, through the phone, text message, through emails. And also you can show wonderful example. You can you say, I'm a Buddhist. Immediately people say, wow, you can make like that, really. Because of your character, behavior, way of thinking, way of your motivation. So we have responsibility. Because we are sangha means Buddha's disciple. We are Buddha's disciple. So Buddha's activity is, Buddha, he accumulated 3,000 3 eons, right? 3 great eons. He accumulated merit 3 eons. 3 great eons. I think 3 great eons. And also in his present life, he accumulated wonderful merit. And then after he achieved Buddhahood, after he became Buddhahood, he did not stop to teach. He taught completely his knowledge, Dharma knowledge, from different ways. Sometimes he stand up on wrathful deities. And then he taught the Vajrayana vehicles. Sometimes he stand up like a very humble, simple monk, that through this way he taught some subject of Buddhism. Sometimes he is completely shows the wonderful miracles, and through this way he taught. So anyhow, in our human life, Shakyamuni Buddha, who lived 80 years. So at that time he completely shared his Dharma knowledge. So right now we have this. His teaching is our precious treasure. His teaching is not only our precious treasure. His teaching is the precious treasure in this whole universe, actually. Especially in this samsara. His teaching is really medicine to remove the samsara. His teaching is like the sun to remove the darkness. So that's where right now we have these responsibilities. When we take these responsibilities, then it benefit to us. How much we try to benefit for others, then this benefit, the result come back. That is the law of karma. So what I said now is, of course, we all have to progress. Not only you. I am 100% including you. So, so through hope and wish, through talk, kind of this subject sincerely. I taught this sincerely. So through this power and your powers, then may all Mother Sentient beings get wonderful benefit. This is my wish, and thank you very much for listening, and I deeply rejoice. Now we are going to dedicate. Please, you arise compassion. Okay? Arise compassion. Bodhicitta. Chanjo senjo rinpoche maje banam jijurje je bai nyam bai me bai yang gone gonde
May bodhicitta, the precious and supreme mind, arise in whom it has not yet arisen. Where it has arisen, may it not decline, but ever increase, higher and higher.
Page 31. Emma ngomzar sanje nawan daye dan yesu jobo doje jembo dan Yanda Zamban Teji Tona La Sanje Chansa Bamen Korji Kor Deji Ngonzar Bada Me Baye Dewa Jinshi Chave Shen Kamder Da Yen Den Zembe Jerma Da Jewa Yen Je Barmai Jubar Tere jine nande jarndo joy te ge da ge molai da bai cho ju san je chang se tan je je ge min zhe bar chen je la de so te ya da ban zan zhe ya wai bo de na ya so wa.
Emaho. In the center is the wondrous Buddha of boundless light. To his right is Chenrezig, the Lord of great compassion, and to his left is Vajrapani, the Bodhisattva of great might. They are surrounded by an inconceivable assembly of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Immeasurable peace and happiness is the pure land of great bliss. When I and all beings pass from this life, may we be born in that land, unhindered by another samsaric rebirth. And may we then behold the face of Amitabha, boundless light. May all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas of the 10 directions bless this aspiration that it may be accomplished without hindrance. Tadyata Panchagriya Ava Bodhaniye Swaha.
Thank you very much.